You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Good evening. Welcome to Unveiled, where all conversations are safe, revealing, and uncuffed. Tonight's show is partnered with Chris's Dishes, Jenn Chavez Photography, and sponsored by WSBI LLC, your resource for success podcast. Here are your hosts, Chris and Jenn Chavez. Hey, Chris.
What's up, Jenn?
And Carmine and Kimberly Pesce. What's up, guys?
Hello.
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 What are we revealing tonight? So, March is upon us. I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday and everybody I know becomes Irish. So tonight we're going to talk about something in the season of seasonal depression. How did this affect you and what helped you come out of it? You know, we're in the end of the month. They say seasonal depression lasts through the end of February. So people are really now welcoming spring, more sunlight.
I got a lot of sunlight.
What did you do?
I got a lot of sunlight during this time.
When
I was out in the deer stand, when I was
my
on duck
Lord.
blind, when I was out walking around. So,
Listen.
I'm only depressed because it's all over.
You always gotta have one.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
Always gotta have
In
one.
case this is your first time here, I am the hunter guy and fisherman. So, just so y'all know.
Also known as the comical relief. So I don't know about any of you, how you felt about the winter seasons or if you ever suffer from seasonal depression. I know I'm not a fan of the blazing dark myself, but that's just me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as they say, seasonal depression is between the months of December through February, and I guess I never really thought about the seasonal depression, but yeah, I can agree that I never liked the darkness. Starting at 4:30, it's like we get up in the morning and it's dark when we go to work. We leave work and it's dark, right? And my thing is, I just want to hurry and get home before it gets dark, right?
Exactly.
And that is a contributor to the depression, whether you call it whatever you call it. It is a sort of depression because it's gloomy, it's doomy, the weather and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. Plus, if you overate during the holidays,
there's that.
You've already got the symptoms, right? You need to more. Oh, no, I'm fat. I need to lose weight. Wow. So, yeah. It's
detox
like,
in January.
But, sometimes that seasonal depression carries way past the months of, in my mind, just the typical order, which is December through February or into March. But it seems like in today's society, it's a continual depression that affects us not only as the climate changes, as the government changes. It's constant now. So it's worse at those times, but it can happen in spring, summer, or fall.
No, absolutely. It's not just the winter season. Some people do receive or have seasonal depression in the warmer months. I know you hate the sunlight.
No, it's not that I hate the sunlight.
You're the vampire.
I love being outside. That's why I like when for seasonal depression during December, January, February. It's like it doesn't really affect me because I'm outside during those times doing hunting things. But when it comes to like, hey, it's 95,000 degrees outside.
Oh my God, we don't live in the desert.
With the humidity. Well, sometimes Virginia can't feel like that. Especially this past summer. It was hot. And that's just like, oh my God. I just stepped outside just to get fresh air and it's hot. It's like, God, hell.
So, when we say about the seasonal depression, I personally hate cold weather because I'm always cold to begin with, autoimmune disease. So I don't like being outside, which means I'm inside more often than not, and I'm not getting that natural sunlight, and I'm not getting fresh air as much as if it's spring or summertime. So for me, coming out of the bitter cold and into now the warmer months, a couple days nicer, even just hitting 50, 60 degrees, it just feels so good on the body, tilting your head up, letting the sun just bathe you. I really do think it's a mood booster for sure.
Yeah, I think like when Carmine was talking about how seasonal depression to me is almost like all year. And I think of it that way because we always look at how, well, like you said, the wintertime is kind of blah, and then all of a sudden you're into the spring and summer and people are whining and crying because either it's too hot or, well, oh my gosh, I can't get into this bathing suit, or I'm not dark enough, I need to get tanned, or there's always something to whine about, right? There's always something that people are depressed about throughout the year. And it's because we've been set into this conforming attitude about what we're told from the time that we're brought into this world about, you have to do this, you got to do that, this is the time of season you're preparing for. Does it really matter? I think this is a question we have to ask ourselves. But it's a personal thing, I think, is what helps ourselves get through whatever it is that we're going through. But we're just so used to having to deal with the same things all year round, right? So we know from December in January, February, there's a lot of holidays, right? So people are happy about the holidays, and then they get depressed because the holidays are over.
I look at it also the other way, where there are a lot of people who get depressed around the holidays.
Right, because they
feel that they're supposed to be with family, but maybe they don't have family nearby, or they don't have family. Or there is this financial expectation of, okay, so whether it's one night of Christmas or 8 nights of Hanukkah, or in our family, we celebrate both.
Yes, I'm broke in December. Because also it's her birthday.
This is true.
Right.
So my seasonal depression is spending
money. Don't worry, I got you. There's anything.
Not when he's up in the tree stand.
Exactly.
There he's perfectly happy.
Right.
So we all have different ways to cope with it, really.
Yes. Right.
Whether we know we are depressed or not, right?
Right.
So,
but it still goes back to conforming, right? It's the societal thing. It's what we've been raised. It's what we've been told. This is the time of year where you go out and you go broke.
Well, yeah. But I love the question you posed about what is it that we have to do? What are the things that have to be done? So, for Chris and myself, for us come springtime, well, okay, let me take a pause. I'm a firm believer, and I've said it before, and I will always say it, I'm a firm believer in therapy, talk therapy specifically. And I believe it does help with one, forget combating what's going on, but identifying that there's actually something to talk about. Very important. So whatever season you want to pick, and let's just generalize it, there's always something that's going to be weighing on you. So for us, getting our seeds in the ground, February and March is important because we have an expectation that we've placed on ourselves that we're going to have fruits and vegetables and crops ready to go, that we can start pulling them out and being prepared for whatever. And I say being prepared as in, like, he goes hunting in the winter. I hate cooking. I want to go downstairs, grab a jar of food, shove it in a pot, pour it in a pot, and I'm good. I've got dinner ready and waiting. I need to make some rice in my Instapot. Mm-hmm. Cool. So there are certain stressors that we put on ourselves. But at the same time, and I know you're going to cringe when I say this, there is nothing more therapeutic to me than being out in the garden with my hands in the dirt and I'm like getting in it. Or I'll have my earbuds in and I'm trimming away at a tomato plant. And I know that sounds really kind of dorky, but
no, see, I did that as a kid, so I said, I vowed I would never do that as an adult, okay, because we had garden. Mama used to, I'm like, nope, not doing that when I grow up. Never again.
Mama, I'm with you. Just call me. I'll come out because it is so peaceful to me. I don't have to talk to him, which that's another thing with this need to talk to people. How often are you talking to people during the holidays? All the time. Oh my God!
So don't do that.
Would you like
during
to?
December to February, don't talk to
No, I need my Christmas and Hanukkah presents. What are you talking about? Stop it.
I think what we're going to find is that as we foretalk, right, we'll find what de-stresses us, and what we find, and we'll all look at each other and say, "I'm never going to do that." Just like you just said, "No way am I going to tend to a garden," right? But there are things that traditionally are out there and say, like light therapy, right? So I'm curious, has anybody at this forum here has used a light?
I will tell you, I have not, but I'm so interested in red light therapy. I've been doing a ridiculous amount of research on it, just because it is supposed to be so good for you at a cellular level to help you. And they have little ones that you just hold it up to your face for like 10, 15 minutes. They've got the big sauna looking type, so you walk in, you hang out for a while. But that would be kind of cool.
Light therapy?
Yeah.
So you either buy a light box or you go to a place that has, light, ultraviolet light, that you sit in a chamber and you do that for a very short period of time.
That's not going to work for me.
No.
I'm all about being in the darkness.
No. Like a mushroom, right? Just like a mushroom. But seriously, I mean, I first of all, I read about that and I say, what the fuck?
Right.
And then I say, well, maybe let me enlighten myself and go to a light. I'm not going to buy
Carmine,
a light.
you and I will go.
We'll go to a place and we'll go try it once, and then we'll say, oh, I felt better. And maybe go a second time and says, it's really true. It's not like going to a massage and say, oh, I feel great, but my body aches because I got beat up. Right? It's like, it's light. What can it do other than help you? Look, what did Chris do just as we got ready for one of the podcasts, right? It's like, can we open the blinds, right?
Right.
Light. Light has, I believe, has therapeutic value.
Oh, it's proven. Like, we were just listening to a podcast on the way over here, and they're talking about like the biggest things you need to do is like get up, get out, and get your vitamin D every day.
Yeah, that's his thing.
That's my thing. I want to get out. I gotta get out.
I gotta get out. Me, I can stay at home. I don't care about having light. I just want to relax.
She just wants to relax.
That's just me. And I don't know. It's just one of those things that I think because I've always been on that rat race. Always in a rush. Always got to be out. Always got to do something. Felt like I always going 100 miles per hour.
I'm not saying like go do something. Like just go outside for 15 minutes and take a walk.
I don't even want to do that.
You've been trying to get someone else to do here.
I don't want to even go. I don't even want to go out and walk. I don't have a problem with like sitting outside and just enjoying sitting still. But I don't want to feel like I have to go out and walk to get that moment of, therapy. But if you want me to sit out there on the porch and enjoy, a glass of water or just relax, I have no problem with doing that. But for me, just having that moment of silence is good. Or just laying across the bed in the darkness, I'm good. I just need to have that.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
That to
Better,
me is
who's
my
that?
decompression, or putting on music relaxes me more than anything.
Really?
Absolutely. He knows I can have music on 24 hours a day. Even when I'm working, I have to have that noise in the background. That helps me. Even if I'm not actually listening to
That's
it.
interesting.
Oh, I'd get lost. I'd be like, what was that?
I actually work better. If it's too quiet, I can't even think straight.
Wow. I think my brain is just too noisy, and I'm serious when I say that. Like I have so many thoughts that occur at any given point in time, and the music, I get distracted. When I was in school and studying as an adult, I thought it was just because I was getting older. I could not stand it. If he had the TV on and I could hear it, I would lose my mind. I'd have to like close the door, put noise canceling headphones on just so I didn't hear anything.
So that's true. I'm the same way. I can't have certain distractions. Music, however, is a little different. But I find it hard to concentrate, having music on while I'm trying to write something.
Right, I agree.
If I'm there just vacuuming or washing something or doing something inane where it's not distracting, the music is good therapy.
Right.
If I'm trying to telework and there's something in the background,
Oh my God, I can't.
And that's probably why I like to get out, because, even working in the office or working, I find it like walking away and take a walk somewhere outside to just decompress and then come back to it, right? Here, if you're in the house all day, you don't want to be in, you need a
break.
There needs to be there's no drive home, right? There's just, you go from the desk to the kitchen, right? And it's like, okay.
When you get that dog, y'all are going to be out quite a bit.
No, he'll be out quite a bit because it'll be his dog. I'm good.
That's what you think. So, I like...
He'll be retired. I won't be. This is going to be a difference. So
Just wait.
I like the idea.
Mama's dog.
I like the idea of things that we all individually do to cope with things or for decompressing from stress, because I'll pick on my husband because it's easy. So what is the number one thing you enjoy doing that brings your levels down when you get stressed?
Hunting, fishing,
being outside, right?
Being outdoors.
So that's your thing. Like, even if he's having a bad day, like, he'll just go outside or go walk the dogs. What about you? What is something that you enjoy doing when you know, like, you need to bring your heart level down?
Oh, my heart level down. I want to say take a nap.
Really? That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that. I love it because sleep is so underrated.
Yeah, so I have the uncanny ability to fall asleep. I could just leave that chair and go there and nod out for 15 minutes.
No matter what time of day.
No matter what time of day.
And will you sleep at night?
Usually.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's like,
Oh my God, you just stopped me. Stop.
You get relaxed. You get into a relaxed position or place, and I can just shut down.
That's amazing.
Which I find very, very odd when I tell people that.
You are a rarity.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't think I know anyone else that can... You can fall asleep, but you have to be exhausted to fall asleep.
Well, I mean, like, if there have been times when I've gone out on my own, like during deer season and lunchtime, I've gotten out of the truck and just laid down next to a tree and power napped. But I can't do that at home. Nope.
What about you?
Kim just looks at me like,
shit, I could do that while driving. That's how good I am. Wow.
Well, for me, I can do a power nap every now and then. It can't be regular. It's not something I do regularly, but doing my workouts. I love my Zumba. And if I get a chance, I'll get out there and lift my weights. That for me, I enjoy, but definitely getting into the Zumba. That I got to get that anxiety out, and then have my music rolling in my head. That's something that really helps me out. And he knows that, like, look, I got to get it in 2 or 3 times. Let me go get my workout in, because he doesn't like exercise. He doesn't like to get out there and do some of those things. So that's where we separate our differences. He'll go sit down and take his little nap,
and you'll go work out.
I work out. Yeah.
See, I'm with you. I find working out definitely helps with my stress, and I realized it even more after my injury, when I was healing in my neck and everything else. And the first day, the doctor was like, "Okay, you can go back to the gym," and I was like, "I'm going. Let's see how this is going to shake out." And it wasn't until after the workout where I'm like, okay, like, I really needed that. And, you know, we do CrossFit and we do Olympic lifting, and just grabbing that piece of iron, this barbell in my hand, and I'm like, all right, I can now take everything that's been pissing me off for the last however long and transfer it into this is definitely for sure one way. And the other thing that I find that I need to have my hands busy when I get fidgety. Like, when I get really anxious, knitting.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. We could be watching TV and I'll sit here knitting, and
she'll have a blanket done in like an hour.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing there, because I will lose track of what we're doing. And I knew I was stressed when I started this, or something was on my mind bothering me. And it's just a way to kind of take whatever it is that's going on and move it elsewhere. And we all have things, right? They're going through our head. Not that long ago, Chris and I put away the phones at night, and we were telling you about this. And here I am laying in bed. He's reading his book, and I didn't have a book with me. And all of a sudden, I was like, "All right, I'm going to try deep breathing." Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit, there are 4 different things that I need to clean tomorrow. What else do I need to do? Oh, I'm going to see Kim tomorrow. Oh, Kim and Carmine. What should I make? Oh, I got to finish the blank. And I promise you, I went into this spiral in my brain, and I looked at him like, he's still not done reading. Crap. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I will say though, like when I crawled into bed, I was like, "Where's your book?" She was like, "All my books have like recipes for tinctures and stuff." And I was like, "No, they don't. Like, go get a book. Like, I know there's a book you haven't read yet. There is a book somewhere."
Right. Yeah. And for me, like, if I am not working out, I'll start writing things in my phone, or either I'll start writing, period. But then that gets bad, because if I start writing, then it becomes a book.
I mean,
so you're talking about like journaling, right?
No, actually
writing. Okay,
yeah,
because there are things that people do for depression, you know, and they journal, right? And I find that there is some value in that.
Have you journaled?
I haven't journaled in a long time. It becomes a book. It becomes in my mind, it becomes what I'm really depressed about, or objectionable about, or having a difficult time dealing with. So it does have therapeutic value, journaling.
I hated it.
But I didn't like it, right? Because here I am writing 3 or 4 pages, and it's not meant. It was never meant to do that. It's meant to, you know, get you understanding what it is that's bothering you. It's more of like a therapy session, right? And when there's no one there other than yourself, so you're the therapist on yourself. A lot of people love journaling, and they say it gets them through it, and it's great. It helps me somewhat, but it doesn't help me to the fact where I'd rather power nap, you know, disengage my mind from what's depressing me, and I could deal with it better that way than journaling, because then I look back at some of my journals, I just threw them away. I says, "Wow, what a bitch I was." Did I say that out loud?
Yes. Wow. I tried journaling. I did. A dear friend of mine years ago gave me a journal, and it's beautiful, and I started journaling in it, and all my emotions and my feelings. I'm like, liability. I don't need this shit. Like, I don't want somebody picking this up. What if I die and somebody comes through my house and they start reading, oh, look, she had on Tuesday, September 16th, she had a bad day. Sucker. I just don't want it.
Right.
Other books that I have, I start writing recipes to things. Like, okay, I want lotion, or I want to make, I don't know, dish soap, which, these are just things that I find other uses for. But I can appreciate somebody who can journal. Meditation. Do you meditate?
I don't know. I don't think I really meditate. I think. And if I am meditating, I don't even know I'm really meditating. You know what I'm saying? I think that
I love you for
a
that.
lot of times that I'll sit there and think, and I think my meditation is more prayer.
Okay.
And not even realizing that I'm actually doing it. I was telling him one day that I take my meditating and prayers when I'm sitting on the toilet.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's like, this is my quiet time. Well, I'm sitting there, and I can going to the bathroom, right?
Oh, God, please don't let me clog this toilet.
That is not what I'm praying about.
Please don't throw me toilet paper.
It's just the opportunity to have that moment of darkness, quietness. There's nothing else going on in my head. It's my opportunity to be thankful, but it's also an opportunity to really just...
Why are you partying in the dark?
Do you party in the dark?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I don't like lights on. He'll tell you. I'm not a light person.
Oh, man.
Don't you dare turn that damn light on.
When you're pooping?
On the early...
Oh, God.
Don't
do it.
The early months were freaking hell. She's got these.
We're freaking hell because it's dark down there.
All over the place. It's great for when you're walking a path, but when you wake up to go to the bathroom at night and you get yelled at for turning the friggin' light on because I run into the friggin' bureau, that's like, how am I going to see? Oh, wait a minute, hold on. There's this little damp little light, just like a torchlight. Right?
Oh my God.
If you're here to combat seasonal depression, don't do it with the lights on.
Don't go to your Kim's house. When you
I keep I have beautiful lights, those little plug in and stay on all the time. So, it's not like it's dark in the house.
But
he's the type of person that will turn every light on in the house.
I do not poop in the dark.
He doesn't.
I can.
I know
but
where
I choose
everything's
not to.
Like even in the middle of the night, you just turn on the lights if you got to go to latrine or whatnot.
He's that person. He was that person.
No.
Every light,
no.
all down the hallway, there'll be a light. Okay,
we have like a little blue night light that comes on.
I got there's night lights in every room in this house, every room, all over the house.
So what you're saying is like if there was ever,
Listen,
and in the bathroom there's a night light and a
EMP
pop-up
that took out the lighting in the world, you'd be happy, right?
Excuse me?
If there was an EMP that took out the lighting in the world, you would be happy.
Like,
nobody has to turn on the lights now.
I
Figure it out.
I will tell you this: if I had to do my business in the dark, I will fall asleep on that commode. Bottom line, if I don't have a light,
there's a light right there's a switch, so you know there's a light right by there. So
I know, and
I just don't need it. I need to be relaxed.
Don't be making fun of me for turning on the light going to the bathroom. If somebody thinks
this is the best
that's a bad thing
ever.
It's not a bad thing. And
I never said it was. It's just not what I do.
If anybody wants to comment on this in the podcast, yes, Carmine, you're absolutely right. I shit with light on, or I shit without the light on. Please let me know.
Carmine, I go with the lights on. I need to know what's going on. I need visual confirmation.
Don't because
I don't poop in the middle of the night.
The only time I had to
Who
do
does
that
that?
at night without lights was in the Boy Scouts.
Okay, let me rein y'all in. Okay, this is not about going to the bathroom. Okay?
All right, so
technically is with seasonal depression. I mean, like the potty's cold. It's really the toilet's like the toilet bowl's cold when you sit down on it. I mean, that's depressing.
All right, we'll get back. We'll get back on track.
To the point.
We'll get back on track.
Let's figure.
Oh my God!
What
You asked the question.
I needed to know. She said in the dark.
I was like, she went there. And
I
was
just
like,
looked at Chris. He
very
looked at me. I'm like,
confused.
in the dark. All right, anyway, so about the depression, seasonal depression, regardless of season, do you find yourself stressing over certain things during certain times of year more than others, Carmine?
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
I think I stress equally over the 12 months
It's your
on
equal
different things.
opportunity
It's not-
stressor.
I don't find myself more. I don't find myself more depressed, if you want to call it depressed, or anxious, or whatever you want to call it, between the months of seasonal depression. I think it's throughout the year I distribute my depression equally.
You make sure there's enough to go around.
There's enough to go around, and I think that therapists will attest to that because
No therapist wants to come here right now.
All y'all got issues, right?
Carmine could keep me afloat because he's a 12-month depressor as opposed to Kimberly, who's a 3-month depressor. I'm going to go with the one that brings me revenue every month.
Oh my gosh.
So no, I can't say that one season gets me more. I mean, the triggers, it's dark out all the time. That surfaces during this time frame. In the summer, it's like light all the time. It's like, oh shoot, it's 5 o'clock and it's light out, and it's now 9 o'clock and the lights are just starting to get. I go back to the days when I was, young. It's like, as soon as the street lights came on, that's when you came home. Right. So you were out.
Yeah, he thinks he has to be on the go all the time when it's
so
light
yeah,
outside.
that I can't do that. As I'm getting older, I don't like to drive at night and stuff like that. And besides, there's a lot of assholes out there.
Especially around here.
And it's. I don't find it. To answer your question, I don't find it more so at this time than it's equal. Yeah.
What about you, Christopher?
I think that for me, since we have changed in the way we live our lifestyle by doing kind of things at home more, like
puzzles.
No, not puzzles. Like now. I'm thinking like, it's February.
March.
Or excuse me, March. Yeah, February went by quick. It's March, so now we should have my one chore is I got to start splitting wood for our fireplace for the next season, so it dries out. Like that's how I think about it. We live our lives now pretty much by season. That's what we do. So
what about you?
You didn't expect that one, did you?
No, it's interesting. Yeah, what you just said. I don't know. I don't really think I have any monthly issues when it comes to all year round depression.
Since menopause.
Menopause has been around for me since I hit my late 40s, so we bypassed that a long time ago. It's still there and ain't going away. Which you get to experience on a regular with me.
I'm there for you, babe.
But I don't know. I think maybe around, maybe around the holidays. It's not so much the holidays as much as just the darkness. That's the part I just don't like. I've never liked driving in the dark as I've gotten older. So I don't do that much anymore. It bothers my eyes is a big part of it. But I don't know. If something happens or something makes me depressed, I think I'm more communicative about it than what I used to be. And I think that's something that I try to work with my husband more on, is that talk to me. You can communicate with me. You're not by yourself anymore.
Right. You
don't have to hold it in for a year per se, or that whole day or that whole month. We can talk about it versus feeling like you got to sit there and be depressed or feel lonely, or you have to run to the therapist. We're here together. We need to be able to work these things out, or I need to understand what's making you sad, because we all have something that may bother us at that moment or at that day, but I can't help you if I don't know what that is, right?
And there's also the knowledge and understanding that you might not be able to help.
Exactly.
Right?
So we need to know what's the next step that we have to do in order to move forward. And, I listen to you guys talk a lot about therapy. And for me, I never liked therapy. When I was going through some of the things that I've been through in my life, I never thought the therapist was there for me.
Right.
So I walked away from it. And my only therapy was writing. That's what helped me get through everything I had been through, was being able to write out everything I had gone through. Next thing I know, I said, that's how I actually ended up getting pushed and becoming an author, was being able to tell my story.
To take it out.
And to take it out. Because I felt that the therapy that I was getting was more against me than it was for me. And it was the attitude of, oh, well, you should just be able to do this. I'm thinking, excuse me, but you have no freaking idea what you're talking about, because you've never been through what I've been through, right?
Fair.
So, and there, like I said, there's nothing against therapy, but in my dealings, it wasn't a good experience, and so I never went back to it.
So I am, and I know I say it constantly to people, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, started going into talk therapy and medication back in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And do I believe it helped? Absolutely. Did I have a lot of shitty therapists before I found a good one? Mm-hmm. Oh God, yes. I would dip out in the middle of a therapy session and be like, this just isn't working for me. You're not hearing me. I had a great therapist before moving from New York. She was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came here and had to find somebody, 3 different therapists. And because of the sensitive nature of what I was dealing with and trying to just get through that had come up, I tried going to a male therapist. I tried going to a female therapist. I tried going to another female therapist. And to your point, it wasn't helping. And then I finally found one that I was able to speak to. And she was a lifesaver. She helped work me through situations. Back in February when we were talking about love and self-love and loving yourself. And we ended that conversation on the do you love yourself? She helped me realize that it's okay to love myself. And when going through the seasons, Valentine's Day just came by. How many people out there were dealing with that? Oh, I'm not in a relationship.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How many people have experienced certain things on Valentine's Day that makes you not like that day?
Right.
Exactly.
So, and I want you to pull the thread on that, because that's a really important thing. There are just certain holidays that fall into, or certain events that occur in our lives that coincide with these seasons. That it's not about the season. It's not about anything other than, and Chris will share a story, it's just a really shitty time. Mm-hmm. And I want to be in those feelings. And we're entitled to all be in our feelings.
Yeah, that goes into what I was saying about it's not just this season, it's ending, and it never ends for some people, because those who are alone and things like that, they're going to feel alone 4th of July, Memorial Day,
right.
Any of those things that are big events that they either have no place to go to, or they're not invited to, or that they say, woe is me, I don't have this, so they get depressed all the months of the year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tough thing, and how do you combat that? And sometimes you got to try the things that aren't the normal things to get over it.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Or to deal with it, because I'm not so sure that that depression is something that you can diagnose and medicate to, because there are people that medicate to it.
There are people that self-medicate, yes, but not the right ways.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, it's legal. I'm going to smoke a joint. It's like that helps you for that. That's
moment.
my power nap,
Right.
right? My power nap is there. Let me do a doobie, and I'm okay until
it wears off, right?
Yeah.
Until the reality
so
show hits.
it's and I don't even know if they call it doobie anymore.
No, honey.
Yeah, you're dating yourself just a little bit.
You can put away your zoot suit.
Okay, blunt. What do we want to call it? Whatever it is.
He said blunt.
Oh, Jen, I need to just take your Jesus.
Now I'm depressed because I'm old.
Whew, I needed that.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Moving on.
I don't know if I can. I'm kind of stuck with the blunt. You went from a doobie to a blunt. How'd you go from like the 60s to like the 90s, man? Like, we just skipped generations. I think there was joint in between those.
Yes, there was joint, the blunt.
Spliff.
Are you looking at
Doobie. No, this it's all.
Are you really?
I'm looking at.
Oh my God.
I'm way ahead of you. I'm talking about
Oh my God.
how to pull yourself out of a depressive episode. and this is very depressing that I feel so old now.
Oh my God.
So I either got to go out and exercise,
Yes.
eat healthy,
Yes.
avoid
Foods.
substances. See, avoid substances. They stay social. I'm staying social. So this will get me out of it. Stop making fun of me.
We still love you, babe. We still
So,
love you.
are you going to start exercising?
Right now?
I mean, look.
But you know what? I gotta give it to him. My babe comes to a line dancing class once a week, so he's starting his exercise. He's getting it in once a week. That's a start.
I think that's awesome.
I really need to go. Probably
He's starting to get it in once
Get
a
it
week,
in.
so it's okay.
Do you get to wear your cowboy boots there?
no, because it's not that type of
No,
line dancing.
that's an
I'm sorry.
R&B line dancing class.
It's R&B. Yeah, it's not. It's not like. It's not like.
It's still a line dancing
Not boot
class.
scoop boogie.
No,
it's not.
no.
No.
It's a different type of boot scoop boogie.
It's,
So-
it's,
R&B
it's,
songs.
It's very R&B. It's very, very.
It's the same step, different songs, different
And,
movements.
and there's all women there.
It used to be
So that'll
couples.
get you out of your depression.
It started out with all couples, and then
the men
dwindled
left?
down. We're the only couple.
The men stay outside and they look in, and
Yes.
they're like, na.
Oh my God.
It's like that. What happened the last time we were?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So and
Yeah,
so's
it's
out there. Her
crazy.
husband. That was her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. He stays out there. He ain't coming in.
He goes
And
to exercise down the hall in the gym.
in the gym. So maybe what I need to do is like.
You're not going to the gym. You stayed in that class. So
Oh,
anyway.
see, this is depressing.
It was your idea
Forced
to go
exercise.
because we decided that we would do at least one class
she
together.
She won't let me exercise.
No,
I'm sorry.
you
See,
wanted to do the ballroom
she
class.
won't let me
We had the ballroom
exercise.
class
Yeah,
that we
but
were
that-
going to first, and that just didn't work
That
out.
woman
So
was
we picked
teaching the same
yeah.
shit every day,
Oh,
twice on
God.
Sunday. And she had to have another. Look, let's not get that into
Yeah,
that.
but let's not get into detail. It just didn't work, right? So
Okay.
we found another class, and so we go together.
We
So
go.
one thing we go together, together get our exercise, and he needs to get out and get more exercise because
Yes.
we tried to walk. That didn't last but a day, literally.
Is it because it was too sunny?
No, she was
no.
complaining. She was complaining about going up the hill.
I do have leg issues though, right?
Yes,
so
you do.
let's be honest.
I'm only kidding.
So I can walk, but for a long period of time, it bothers my legs because
Okay.
I had
Your
the leg
accident,
injury,
right.
so my act from the accident. So it just gets on my nerves after a while. So I rather that we find something we both could
Right.
do, and we try to enjoy it, and we
Like-
have a good time. We still get our exercise in.
eating, shopping, go some exercise.
Look, I am willing to guarantee for the amount y'all shop, you put in your 10,000 steps a day.
Shit, yeah.
Shit, yeah.
But now that the shopping is getting curbed,
Now I've got to. Now I've got to find
Now
another-
she's putting constraints
Now
on
I
your
got-
ability.
I need to go to IKEA and walk the 5 miles through that place.
It's
right?
like what do they call that? Like
That'll
the-
give you
leading a
seasonal
cow to
depression walking through IKEA.
exactly,
It's like,
the cow to
exactly.
slaughter.
it's like as you're walking through there, you're like, I had to put this motherfucker together. I had to put that.
exactly.
Those
Exactly.
instructions don't say that. Matter of fact, they don't say a thing. There's
But
a
I will.
picture.
I will tell you this: that during COVID, right,
Mm-hmm.
when some stores were open and malls started opening up, people were going out dealing with that depression,
Right.
That stemmed from that. Walked the malls.
Yeah.
They even opened up the malls early before the stores opened, and you saw power walkers in the mall.
I think it's great.
And I went there because it was like
Wow, you actually walked in the mall? You power
I
walked?
still do. Now,
Is that what you do early in the morning?
If
You
you want to
actually
call power,
walked?
through the mall, in a fast step.
Everybody write this down. This is history.
Wait, were you wearing a mask? All jokes aside.
I did a blunt and I walked. No.
He was walking while blunting. Let's just turn it into a verb, Carmine.
All right, this has gone out of control.
No, I think so.
Carmine the entertainer.
No, come on. This is like
This is actually good information, you know?
No, but
Obvious-
this is sometimes people, like COVID is a perfect example. People were sheltered in place, and they needed to get out. And when they got out, they did ungodly things like walking. It was a safe place to walk. If it was raining out, you didn't give a shit because you could walk
You
in
could
the
just
mall,
be outside.
and you could be out, and there were people and things to look at
Right.
while getting your exercise in.
You know what's funny?
Those-
I was never depressed during COVID.
Nope.
Me neither. I loved every minute of being home.
We did a
Oh
lot
my
of
gosh.
driving during COVID because it was like the first week. It's like we are going to get
people
bored.
weren't out.
No, seriously, like we're going to get bored really quick, and we
Randomly drove.
which it probably wasn't like the first week. It was probably like the second or third week. It's like we almost drove like the whole state of Virginia
We drove around everywhere
Yeah.
that we could go.
just to drive. Like
I and that's good. That's probably a great thing, and you had it together, right?
That's
Yeah.
what it.
So
But you were alone,
right? If I decide, hey, let me go drive, I'd probably never come back, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like oh, another
Working on
gas
it.
station. Let me fill up, and then just keep going.
Yeah.
Because
Well, yeah, and during that time we weren't together then,
Right.
but during COVID, I loved being home. And a part of it, I think, was because I traveled so much during work. And matter of fact, I had just got home right before they shut
You and I both,
everything
yep.
down. So when you're out constantly on the road, for months at a time and weeks at a time, to have that 4 months to be able to just decompress. And, I could still work, but didn't have to worry about, okay, there's another bag I got to live out for this many weeks. So I got to be at this site, got to do this and this and that. It was a beautiful time for me. I was so thankful to have that break, even though it was a depressing time. I lost family during that time who died during COVID. I was very worried about my friends. I was very worried about my family, but I had an opportunity to be at home. I was absolutely concerned for my child. My child was considered an essential employee who was working as being the optical manager and lead, at Walmart. So I was going through a lot during that time. So I was thankful to be able to be home, to be there for my son, and not have to worry about where do I have to be at next. So I had to handle my depression differently in order to make sure that my child was safe.
And gratitude is a great way to do that.
And I was very thankful that I could still have a job because I was a contractor then. I wasn't a government employee. So so all the little things that we're laughing about now, and we thought were that people weren't thankful about because so many people complained during that time. We can't do nothing, we can't go nowhere. And I'm thinking, do you know how many people right now are suffering the loss
of someone,
Yep.
or didn't have a job
or something?
They're losing something.
Yeah.
Everything.
There's everything. There's so much that was going on during that time frame.
Food servers lost their entire livelihood, lost their homes, lost everything.
Exactly. So so to be able to sit back and, like I said, give gratitude and be able to just get up every day and know that I'm safe in my environment. I was thankful for that.
I absolutely understand that, and I agree with you on it. I think that it doesn't matter where we are in the world as far as the time of year. Again, it's another label. It's another... Are we going to turn it into a greeting card? Sorry, you're having seasonal depression. Or is it going to end up being a commercial for some drug? And I say this half flippantly. And as somebody who did take medication for many years to combat my depression and anxiety, there was one med for my depression. And there was another medication for when I was having an anxiety attack, full blown, flipping out. And it got bad. And that's how I worked through it. Now I've got other means that I'll execute in order to work through it. And the big one is find somebody to talk to. And your point, it doesn't have to be a therapist.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now. And support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now. And support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Doesn't even have to be your spouse. There are times where you and I have spoken. I'm like, I'm about to wring someone's neck, or I just feel sad, or you'll be like, hey, I just need. What are your thoughts? And it helps bring us to another level. I think, and maybe it's harder for men. I don't know.
I think it is hard for men, just because opening up is a hard thing. More so listening and being able to offer any sort of condolence or help, whether it's sorry for your loss or if you're going through something like that. I don't think that men have. This is a bad thing to say. I want to say that probably a majority of men don't have the ability to be show empathy or be empathetic to someone else's depression, loss, anxiety, unless they're experiencing it, right? So finding the right person to talk to. At one point, it was like people would find solace in talking to a priest or a rabbi or whatever. I don't know if they even do that anymore.
I don't know.
So sometimes there was just dealing with something, and you go to a confessional and say, "This is what I've done, and this is what I'm depressed about," and there was no retribution, right? I don't know if that exists anymore. If it does, those people are few and far between.
What do you think? You think it's harder for a man?
Oh yeah, I know it is. Especially like the line of work I came from. It was like there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing, that anything is going to change. There's none of that. It's like you just suck it up, drive on, rub some dirt on, and move out. Now, but that was the mindset that I grew up with from a very small 18-year-old. And all the way up until, 46? No, 45-ish? Something? I don't remember. It's the mentality of, be hard or go home. Mm-hmm. And, like Carmine said, no empathy, no nothing, but that's stupid. Yeah, like, looking back on it, probably was a lot of ways where I could have dealt with my depression and my anxiety in other ways rather than trying to get down to the bottom of a bottle and not putting a gun to my head. Right. Those were the types of things. But mine was, it took me 11 therapists to find one that actually wanted to sit down with me and work with me and talk to me and say, we're gonna work through this. We're gonna get this done. And then she left. Then there's kind of a break, and then I found another one who was very odd, but he had some great advice, and I still have some of that stuff written down on my phone now, and I look at it almost every day of reminding me, don't bring up bad rules from the past. Don't do stupid shit, just things like that. So
it's amazing that in today's day and age, here we are in 2025, and everybody is, for the most part, compassionate, right? Mm-hmm. I'd like to hope that there's still compassion left in humanity. Let me say that, and I'll leave it at that. But at the same time, it's for men to feel that they have to have this shell around them, and that them exposing themselves is literally what they're doing. Them sharing their feelings is like being exposed. You might as well walk outside in your underwear.
You know what? I will tell any service member this right here, right now, if you're listening, there is nothing wrong with going to talk to the wizard. Like, it is more beneficial for you to go talk to a therapist to get your stuff out. And if anybody within your chain of command wants to judge you, they are spineless. That is the biggest thing. To be able to get your feelings out is probably one of the best fucking feeling ever. That's all I gotta say about that part.
And that's great.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important to think about, because again, the stereotypes that go with depression. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't be depressed. You smile all the time. Right. Oh, you can't be anxious. You're so calm, cool, and collected. Really? I'm like a duck. You have no idea what's going on underneath that waterline right now.
Yeah. And then, when we're talking about the fact that, even growing up, and I can even remember that we never have conversations about depression in our society. In Black communities, we were told that we never have these problems. Those are things that it was like, you cannot have these problems. You didn't have mental illness. You didn't have depression. It was never a conversation, even though we know it goes on in every community, right? Sure. But we're just always told there's nothing ever wrong with us. But you cannot tell me, after all the things that you deal with in your society, in your country, from slavery, from Jim Crow, all the way till today, you can't tell me you don't have depression, because every day you're still dealing with the same thing. From the time I get up, I have to worry about what somebody thinks about me because of the way I look. It still goes on. Absolutely. So whether I'm depressed or not, you may not know that, but it's still there are still people in the society who still has that same mentality. And Nobody understands what I'm going through because you're not me.
Right. You and
Right.
I could have two completely different situations
Exactly.
occurring in our lives, and
Exactly.
yet both of us experience depression.
Yep.
It's so great, the topic of empathy. Just to be able to empathize with somebody else's situation and understand that, hey, you can't fix me, and I don't want you to fix me.
Right.
But I want you to understand that I'm having a moment. Like, I'm sad, I'm hurt, I'm angry, I'm whatever the adjective is and the emotion is. And so when I was my last therapist, she had this wheel in her office, and it was every single color and shade of the rainbow. And each piece of this pie on the wheel was a different emotion. And she would, first day, she's like, so what emotions do you relate to? I'm like, oh, there's only two, happy and angry. Everything else is just noise. She's like, well, what about all these other emotions? I'm like, again, those are noise. I can give you happy. I can give you angry. What variation of that do you want? And in understanding that, oh, I'm actually sad about something, or I'm hurt, or I am anxious, nervous. What is the difference? What is the nuance? And being able to come home to my husband and say, hey, you know what I learned today from therapy? Not only did I learn that, or talk about X, Y, and Z, but I also learned that it's okay for me to tell him I'm sad because, and as an example, I watched a commercial that made me sad, or I'm anxious and I'm thinking about mortality and death because...
Yeah, Subaru, stop it with your dog commercials. Seriously. How dare you use adaptive doggos in your Subaru commercials? That'll tear somebody up quick.
And knowing that it's that it's okay.
Right.
It's okay if we're seasonally depressed. It's okay if we're depressed year round. What's not okay is to ignore it.
Exactly.
It's not okay to put somebody down because of it. And it's really not okay to hurt yourself over it. Everybody is important. Everybody has purpose and meaning. And there's something out there that will work. If it's pooping in the dark, it's pooping in the dark. If it's pooping in prayer, it's pooping in prayer. And I love that. I'm going to get you a shirt can. This is P&P, just so you know. I'm all about this in my brain right now.
Oh, my God.
And for, if it's playing with and throwing worms that are in my dirt, okay, I won't touch the worms.
Well, I think like you and I, we're about to go through, well, at least for me, I know we're about to go through a very hard, depressing thing here very shortly.
Retiring Ave.
Yeah. So a lot of people, if y'all don't know, like I do have a service dog. He is going on 11 years old. He's got some hip issues, but he's been a service dog since he was 2, and he's been going the whole time. And now he's starting to slow down. So now I have to continue to work through my stuff to function without him because it's not fair. Now, I say all this, if you had known me 15 years ago, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. We wouldn't even be here right now, and if it wasn't for him, then, that's a big thing. But also, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be a big girl when that day comes, because it's going to be very hard for that.
And we will all be here. And we will all do what we need to do as a community and as support. Any parting words, anybody, real quick? No? Words of wisdom? I was trying to come up with the wisdom session.
The words of wisdom from Father Pesce.
It's coming now.
So we talked about a lot of things this past hour. And we all agree that depression isn't just isolated to the months that they talk about on Google. Is that these are the months of depression is constant sometimes in people's lives. The things that work for some people don't work for others. Writing, journaling work for some people. It doesn't work for others. Talking with others, that is important to do. Accentuate the positives in your life, because there has to be some sort of positive. If there isn't, you need to seek some therapeutic work, finding the right person. It may be difficult at times to find that one person who could empathize with what you're going through and give you the positive and mental attitude to deal with the situations that you're going through. It may take some time, but don't give up on that. I think that, the one person that helped me actually understand what I was going through, I found that person and has helped me through those tough times. So with that said, just never give up seeking some sort of help if it's getting to be debilitating in your life, or it's constant in your life that's making you either angry, anxious, depressed, or what have you. That's my words of wisdom for.
I love that. Find it. Just don't give up.
Don't give up.
Never give up. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, to be a guest on our show, contact Kimberly, Kimberlywsbillc @gmail.com. And if you would like more of Unveiled podcast shows, we are accepting monetary donations to support the podcast via Cash App, PayPal, GoodPod Tip Jar, or go to the website www.wsbillc.com. Again, we would like to thank you all for listening to us tonight. We'll be back next month on a Thursday evening at 7 p.m. And be sure to follow us on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.